Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Dr. Jaws here, and tonight we are covering the Sailback Houndshark, which is a pretty cool species, very rare. We don't know a lot about it, so I'm excited to dive into it. We've got kind of an eclectic night set up too, because the species is so rare and because there's really not much known about it. We also have a bunch of FAO guides to review, so these are actually excellent resources for marine science and for just sharks in general, as far as like shark identification goes. And then, speaking of eclectic, we have a ridiculous soundtrack on in the background. This is Escape from Monkey Island, so kind of a fun vibe, very weird music. I think we tried to listen to it before, and I remember it just being all over the place, but I feel like we should probably give it another go. So, yeah. And let's see. I hope everybody had a good St. Patrick's Day. I had some family come over, and we did like... I mean, it's not really an Irish thing. I mean, it's a Scottish thing, but we did like a golf tournament, or a mini golf tournament. I don't really like real golf, and did not place very well in that, but it's been a while, so. But yeah, hope you guys have like a good drink, good food, and had a good weekend. And I think we'll just like dive into the Sailback Houndshark. And again, there's not much known about it, so I think I suspect most of this episode is going to be more on the FAO guides. Let me turn the music down slightly, just because I can hear that being a little loud. Okay. Alright. So, yeah, here we go. Let's check it out. So this is the only known image of this species. There's only also one known specimen. This is from... Hey, Howard! Well, what's up? Well, welcome back. It's good to see you. And thanks for your message. Hope you feel better, and, just hope you... hey, Minjus, what's up? Welcome back as well. But Howard, hope you feel better. Hope you had a good weekend, at least. And hope you both had a great St. Paddy's Day weekend. So, yeah, this is the one image of this species, and I think there's only one sighting of it. From Papua, I always mispronounce it, like Papua New Guinea or Papua New Guinea. I forget. I apologize. Like. If I'm saying that incorrectly, but as you can see, it is a very like unusual looking shark because of the enormous first dorsal fin and just how like elongated it is along the back of the body. So yeah, it's very strange as far as like this feature goes, and it's sad that this is the only image of the species because fortunately, it's a dead specimen, but at least it's like close enough to life where you can kind of see some key features. You can see the classic hound shark ridges over the eyes, or kind of like that shorter snout. What's kind of cool to see is like a really sharp demarcation in the color pattern between this gray back, but then like this white belly. That's actually a bit sharp. It's not like a smooth gradient. And again, like just that dorsal fin is very, very unusually shaped, where we've never really seen a shark like this, except for like the distantly related like rough sharks, like the Oxynotus sharks. Yeah, very odd looking. Other than that, it does look a lot like typical Smoothhounds, with just like the rounded pectoral fins. Those really beautiful pelvic and anal fins, just kind of being more of like a sharky shape. The second dorsal fin is also unusually large, because usually the second dorsal fin of these kinds of sharks, like hound sharks, is equal in size to the anal fin, but for this particular individual, it's actually quite a bit larger. So, again, we don't know a lot about this species, so I have a lot of FAO guides covering the species and others, so this is going to be kind of like a fun tour around the world tonight. Let me get rid of this notification. Yeah. Hey, Velcro62, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I think I know who you are, so good to have you. And yes, Gyarados and Feraligatr are the best Pokemon. So very, very, very glad that you could join us tonight. So for anyone who doesn't know, Feraligatr is my favorite Pokemon. It's just like, but I'm also a big Gyarados guy. I know we have multiple people on the stream who really like Pokemon in general. So, Howard, this specimen appears very fresh. Yeah, so I appreciate that at least where, because I definitely agree. And actually the bottom individual too, you can kind of see, well, I'm sorry, my text is kind of blocking the view. I don't know if I can make that, I think there's a way I could do this. Okay, you can kind of see the eye is actually green a little bit for the second individual on the bottom. I don't know if you can kind of see that. So, and usually that's an indicator of like, okay, this was a recently captured shark. So, again, it's sad to see, a dead shark, but this is a really rare species, and I'm glad we have at least one photograph, as opposed to this is like the only drawing or like reference for this species. And again, you can see that giant dorsal fin. First and second dorsal fin, they're actually unusually large as far as hound sharks go. So, and then Minjus, I just saw your comment about the medieval music. So this is I don't know if anyone has played the Monkey Island games, but these were kind of fun Caribbean puzzle games. Like they're like pirate puzzle, like word adventure games. So. So the music is really eclectic, but I think it kind of fits tonight as far as just we'll be hopping around different spots in the world as far as like some of the shark guides that we'll be seeing. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, let's check out some species details of the sailback hound shark. So we've got this one photograph of the animal. The scientific name is Gogolia filewoodi, which is kind of a cool name. And it's data deficient on the IUCN Red List. It's been a while since we've seen a data deficient species, so it's very rare. We really don't know a lot about it. And actually, I don't know if data deficient has an assessment information. Let's see. I guess it does. Here we go. The sailback hound shark is a small hound shark known from one specimen reported from the Bismarck Sea off Papua New Guinea in the western central Pacific Ocean. It was captured at a depth of 73 meters. There are currently no known fisheries in this region. Further information is required on the distribution, ecology, and life history of the sailback hound shark, as well as any potential fisheries interactions. Since it is unknown if fishing is causing a population reduction, there's currently inadequate information available to assess the species beyond data deficient. So that's really cool. I don't know if we've ever seen, the only other shark I can think of is the lost shark, as far as like there's only one record or just a few record, or the Pondicherry shark. Those like this one, the lost shark and the Pondicherry shark are three species that are like extremely rare. And like it's kind of amazing to see that there's only one specimen on record for the species. I don't think this photograph is the one specimen this is not the same specimen captured. So this is actually kind of cool. This photograph has more significance now because it is another individual, because the first specimen that was captured was from 1973. And we'll actually take a look at the original account in terms of like what named the species. So we'll take a look at that in a little bit. So we probably don't have a lot of information here as far as biology goes. Habitat and ecology in detail. Demersal means bottom dwelling, so this is a shark that likes to cruise around or cruise near the bottom to hunt for like prey items that are like scuttling across the seabed, maybe flounder, maybe crab. The holotype, so this was the original individual that is the specimen used to identify this new species, to like attach the new species name to like what the shark is supposed to look like. It's always tricky explaining like what holotypes are. So holotype is the first it's the main sample, it's the main individual captured upon which you can make the species name and make that the standard. So like as long as sharks look like the holotype, it could be the species of that holotype. So if I thought there was a holotype captured for the sailback hound shark, and if I captured another shark that looked like a sailback hound shark and compared it to the holotype and they look identical, then it's the same shark. Like the holotype is basically like the I guess a good analogy is like a a brand standard or like a class standard for like, you know, a vehicle or something. It's kind of like, you know, it has to fit certain measurements to be cleared as like this is a sailback hound shark as opposed to other species. And the holotype is like the basic measurement, or like the foundational individual upon which a species is named. So it always gets confusing kind of explaining it. It's like once you understand it, you get it, but it's just like explaining it, it's kind of confusing. But anyway, but the holotype was a mature female measuring about 74 centimeters in length with 2 near-term embryos that were 22. So this was a pregnant female from 1973 from Campagno. So Campagno, really big name. The author of Sharks of the World, like the main author behind Sharks of the World, is Campagno. So that's actually really exciting. Reproduction is aplacental viviparous, so live birth. Nothing else is known of its biology. So extremely rare shark, and I'm really happy that we have a couple like FAO guides to look at just as backup, because I have a feeling we just won't have a lot of info on Gogolia, but that's kind of cool. I mean, it's cool to see rare species like this. So yeah. Oh, Minjas, I haven't heard that game so long. Yeah, I played. So Monkey Island, there was a revamped version. Like I have a MacBook, and I actually had it on. I had it on this computer that I'm streaming from, and then I just didn't get very far in it, so I uninstalled it because I had to make room for other things. But yeah, like it's a lot of fun though. I definitely recommend it. So it's super cool. I just didn't have time for it. So I'm very curious what the name is. So we're on Fishbase for the Sailback Houndshark. I'm very curious what the name is for. So Gogolia belonged to the Gogol River, Madang Province, Papua New Guinea. So that's the type locality. So Gogolia is named after where the species was discovered. So that's really cool. Filewoodi in honor of Australian biologist Lionel Winston Filewood, biologist in charge, Department of Agriculture, Stock and Fisheries, Konedobu, Papua New Guinea, for his work on the poorly known elasmeric fauna of New Guinea. Oh, that's cool. So usually I'm not a fan of like naming species after people, but this might be kind of a nice exception because this is an extremely rare shark, and you know, I think that's kind of like a nice honor for this in this particular case. So apparently this biologist Lionel Filewood intended to describe the shark with Campagno, but wasn't able to do so, whereupon he generously relinquished both the task and the holotype to his collaborator. So he was working with Campagno, and then I'm not sure. I'm kind of curious what the story is behind that, as far as like why he would stop working on it. But it's interesting that Campagno finished the work as far as defining what the species is. So that's actually pretty cool. Let's see. 73 meters is kind of interesting. It says it's deep water because it's like, I mean, it's deep for a shallow water environment. So, but what's kind of cool is that I know some other hound sharks, like smoothhounds, like the dusky smoothhound in tropical islands, does like to spend time in deep water. In other parts of the world, like in temperate parts of the world, dusky smoothhounds stay in shallow water. But in tropical islands, there's another population of them that actually stays around like 200 meters below. So it's kind of cool to think like this could be a hound shark that actually might be just like chilling in like deeper water. So maybe it doesn't really come up to the surface that much. So, well, I don't know. I mean, you can only infer so much just based on one specimen, but kind of an interesting, you know, just kind of thought to throw out there. Occurs on the continental shelf. The only known specimen was taken at a depth of 73 meters. Probably near the bottom. This is saying ovoviparous, so I'm assuming it's live birth, but I mean, IUCN Red listed aplacental viviparous, and then this website is saying ovoviviparous, so they both sort of mean live birth, but they mean live birth without a placenta. So it's kind of like we've seen ovoviviparous species before, where eggs hatch inside the mother and then they're kind of technically born live, but the terminology gets kind of confusing. Let's see. Yeah, not a lot of information on this species. So for here, the last little source is shark references before we dive into the literature, and then dive into a really cool website that would include the shark, but has a lot of other sharks. So let's see what sharkreferences.com has to say about the Sailback Houndshark. Let's see. Nice illustration of the species. It already has different common names, which is kind of funny. The Kazan Valero, the Requin-hâ Gogolia. I cannot speak French. And then Sailback Houndshark. Let's see. Minor commercial fisheries, high price, very questionable price reliability, based on X vessel price for species in this family. So, I mean, that sounds like there's not really a market for this. Yeah, really not a lot of information. This is. Do we think this is the rarest shark we've seen on the stream? We have some contenders, but this one just has almost nothing, which is kind of cool. I mean, again, it's always nice to see justifications for shark scientists discovering new species, contributing to the research, but pretty interesting. Hey, Roy, what's up? Welcome back. Oh, Minges, I just saw this comment. Has there ever been a case of a holotype being changed? I know it's super off topic, but oh, no worries. Yeah, no, this is a good night for tangents, so it's totally fine. I have never heard of a holotype being changed. Because I don't think it would be. So okay, that's a great question actually. I don't think I've never heard of a holotype being changed, but I can see that happening if. So actually, you know what actually can happen is I'm trying to think of how to describe this example. So it's like this is not a great example, but say I have the holotype for the bull shark in Florida. This is a really terrible example because like I forget where the actual bull shark holotype is from. Actually, I think it is from the Antilles. But anyway, how do I think about it? But anyway, so say I have a bull shark from Florida, and that was the holotype for that species, and they called it Carcharinus lucas. So that's the holotype for that species. And then I discovered a Zambezi shark in South Africa, and I call it Carcharinus zambinensis. So that's a holotype for that species. And then as research continues and time goes on, I realize, oh my gosh, Zambezi sharks are actually bull sharks. Like, they're actually the same species. So that's a case where the holotype is removed, and it becomes something else. It becomes, oh shoot, there's so many types. It becomes a paratype, I think, where it's like it's basically a type specimen, but it's describing the same species as the holotype. Let me make sure I got that right. It gets really confusing really quickly. Okay, it is a paratype. So a paratype is a specimen of an organism that helps define what the scientific name of species and other taxon actually represents, but it is not the holotype. Okay, so in that example, because like bull sharks and Zambezi sharks are the same thing. They're different names for the same thing. So my original South African holotype, once I realized, oh, that's not an actual new species, that actually should be a bull shark. It's no longer a holotype and changes into a paratype. So it's still something used to define the species, like the species name, but it's not the core, the foundational individual that upon which the species name is based. The best thing I can think of actually is when you think of a good comparisons about holotypes and paratypes and all that is like there's certain labs in the world that have like cubes of metal that are weighed precisely, where it's like, this is 1 gram. This is the international standard for how much 1 gram weighs, or 1 kilogram. This is 1 kilogram. This is the standard for what 1 kilogram is. Or like, if you ever see like markers, like places in the world where they have like coordinates, like NOAA has places like that. I'm trying to think of other, I'm sure there's like, there's a bunch of places where it's like a geographical point with a little marker, and it gives you the coordinates, and it's like, this is like 31 degrees north, 36 degrees west, and you cannot change this. This is the actual marker. So it's kind of like the same idea, which is like, you know, it's the physical representation for which a concept is created. So it's like this is what this is. We're giving it this name. We're naming it this, you know, and this is the physical model upon which this whole idea we have of bull sharks is based. And so in this example, the one individual they found in 1973 of this species, Gogolia filewoodi, this is the physical marker upon which Gogolia filewoodi is based. Now, in kind of like a fun philosophical way, it gets really cool because it kind of shows you that like scientific names are human concepts, you know, and like even common names are human concepts. And it's kind of cool because like these sharks don't care. Like sharks don't know that they're like, a great white shark does not know it's a great white shark. I don't even know what it thinks, you know. It just lives life regardless of whether or not we choose to appreciate it, you know. And so it's kind of cool. It's kind of like fun. Like this discussion gets into an interesting territory where it's like, you know, we're naming these things like we're naming it Gogolia filewoodi, we're naming it the Sailback Houndshark, but is that really what it is inherently? And the answer is like, no. I mean, like this is a creature that exists in its own being, and regardless of what we call it. So it's cool. It kind of, in a fun way, it kind of shows you like how it gets to the very foundation of like the whole framework of taxonomy, and the whole framework. It's a human framework applied on the natural world, and it's very helpful and very important. But it's so interesting to kind of get to the heart of it, where it's like, well, but like, is it true as we use it? You know, it's so interesting on a philosophical level. But anyway, sorry, that was a good tangent. Good question. So. I really appreciate that one. So, yeah, I just saw your comment. Other types. It gets so confusing, and the definition of it gets so confusing because the textbook definition is like, it's one of those things. Like once you do it, you get it, but it's just so hard to explain. So there's holotypes, paratype. I think there's a plesiotype. There's a lot of them, and I'm like. It's super. I don't have enough. Like I am not granted the rank of master. I don't know. This is like all the types. So, sorry. I saw Revenge of the Sith recently. Just fun rewatch. But anyway, let's see. So, sharks just sing shark thoughts. Lemon sharks sing silly thoughts. They are other. Oh, I love that, Howard. They are other nations. I really love that. That's actually really cool. Epaulette sharks just walk. Yeah. But I really love that, Howard. They are other nations. I really like that that concept, because it's like that's something like I just think it's so interesting that and honestly I think it's so comforting in a weird way that like the natural world exists and does not like, you know, have politics, or does not have like, you know, just ideologies. Like it just these animals and plants, they exist and they have their own rhythm of life. I find it very comforting, you know, because it's like I think it's quite easy to kind of like get lost in, you know, human affairs, you know, because we're all human. But like, but I find it very comforting to kind of like have these kind of conversations and kind of like get to that point where it's like, oh man, like, you know, like every day there's sharks in the ocean and they just kind of do their own thing, and I just think it's so interesting. So, oh, Howard, it's from a very cool poem about sharks. I don't know the reference. Very cool. Really appreciate. I'm gonna star that because I really appreciate that, and star They Are Other Nations. That's super cool. So. So here's the first description of the species. So this is kind of fun, from 1973, Proceedings of the California Academy of Sciences. So this is by Campagno. Gogolia filewoodi, a new genus and species of shark from New Guinea. Carcharaniforms Triachidae. So Triachidae is a family of hound sharks. With a redefinition of the family Triachidae and the key to Triachid genera. Or genera, yeah. So yeah, let's check this out. This is kind of cool. I don't think I ever questioned where Campagno was associated with, and he may have been with multiple universities, but Campagno, very famous shark scientist, Department of Biological Sciences, Stanford University, Stanford, California. Very cool. Alright, let's see. On the night of July 18th, 1970, Mr. Comet Kisokau handlined a peculiar small shark in Astrolabe Bay off the Gogol River near Madang, New Guinea. Mr. Kisokau and Mr. R.T. Gibson recognized the unusual nature of the specimen and sent it to Mr. L.W. Filewood, who is currently studying the Lazarynx of the New Guinean region. Mr. Filewood discovered that the specimen represented a new genus and species of triachid and intended to describe it in collaboration with the present writer. Unfortunately, Mr. Filewood was unable to participate in this task and generously relinquished both it and the specimen to me. This is so interesting. I wonder, you know, it's probably something really basic, like he probably was busy or something, but that's so interesting that... That's so interesting. I wonder what the story is behind that. Okay, so Gogolia, Campagno, new genus. Type species, Gogolia filewoodi, Campagno, new species. Derivation of name, Gogolia considered feminine, from the Gogol River of northern New Guinea. So this is kind of cool, considered feminine, so this is a reference to Latin, so ending in the A. And here is, that's actually a beautiful drawing. It's probably gonna take a lot of bandwidth if I flip it, but we should do that. 394, okay, let's go for it. And it's probably gonna take a while. This is probably gonna be upside down. But it's worth it, so. Okay. It's actually really good because I see that this photo's coming up too, so we'll flip it 2 more times. And then 1 more time. This is a huge file. This is actually really cool. I love that a lot of these older scientific journals are like, you can see, you can get them pretty easily. Like, they're very open access, and you can see a lot of information. So that's actually really exciting. That I mean, because like they have like a whole plethora of things here, including like shark studies like this. But here we go. So here's the illustration of this species. It's not too different from the living photo we have, actually. So that's actually pretty cool to see. Again, the unusual dorsal fins. So the first one very long and wide. The second one just really huge. In general, proportionally, that looks unusually large. It almost looks twice the size of the anal fin. You have this beautiful subterminal notch with the upper caudal fin. Kind of a pointed snout as far as hound sharks go. And then when you compare it with the photograph of this living individual, not too different, actually. Pretty cool. So this photograph is actually really significant then, because prior to this photo, this is the only reference we have, and here is the photograph of the original shark. And this one's actually a small individual. Or these are probably, I think they said it was a female with pups, so this actually looks like probably one of the pups, so, wow. Very interesting. I wonder if we have any more photographs. And it looks like we have some drawings, but not actual photographs of this. Just want to make sure. Yeah, so this looks like this is one of the pups. So. Very soft features, very small little shark. You can still see like the large dorsal fin. The first dorsal fin, the second dorsal fin, still a bit larger, but not as dramatic as an adult specimen. So, we'll turn this over one more time so we can kind of get back to the main text and see if there's anything interesting that we can glean from this original record. So. Okay. Howard, Capagno is a man. Yep, for sure. He's been amazing. Let's see. The men just love that comment. Wish I knew what it was like to just exist without human thoughts. Love that comment. It's so cool. Wouldn't be a dolphin though. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Roy's stunning drawing. Man, it's so it's amazing, like that skill of being like a shark artist kind of prior to photography being, you know, good and like inexpensive. It's so vital for some of these early records, so it's cool to see the quality of that original piece of art. So let's see. So I won't read the whole thing, but we'll kind of skim through this, see if there's anything that stands out from the original description. It has a nictitating membrane, so like all crocodiliforms. So it has that special eyelid feature, or that flap that covers the eyeball and protects it from danger when feeding. This has every single possible measurement, so we won't read all of this, but this is what you need to do. In order to describe a new species, you have to make sure you measure every inch, every combination of measurements, every part of the shark to make sure that you know all these details matter as far as when you compare minor features between specimens. So. Okay, the music's getting so goofy, but I kind of like it though. It's kind of the nature of that game. It's just very silly. Let's see. Interdorsal ridge present in adults and absent in fetus. That's pretty interesting. Not all sharks have an interdorsal ridge, but it's kind of like a ridge of elevated dermal denticles on the back. So it's kind of interesting. First dorsal fin base extremely long. Its length almost equal to length of dorsal caudal margin. Okay, so these are mostly just measurements. We'll kind of keep going just to see if we can get any information. Oh, look at those teeth. Wait a minute. Let's zoom in on that. Okay, so those are really wild looking teeth. Wow, look at those. So the top two figures, A and B, are the dermal denticles, so these are the scales, more or less, but C, D, F, and G, wow. Wow, okay, so like the lower teeth are like, you know, very smooth and like curved backwards, you know, and they look more classic, you know, just kind of like that cutting blade. So I would suspect that kind of like the lower jaw maybe works as like a single unit, but the upper teeth look nasty. Like they have 1, 2. How many cusps does it have? So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cusps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cusps. So that's crazy. That looks like a fan. These are really wild looking teeth. Kind of makes you think what this guy eats. Because it's a smaller kind of shark, but those teeth are like good for ripping. That's crazy. Really cool dentition. I don't know if we've seen a species like that. And also, it's kind of interesting that the upper and lower teeth are so different. That's not uncommon for sharks, but those look markedly different. You have these smooth blades with only two cusps, and then on the bottom, and then on the top you have these like 9 cusps. That's crazy. Very interesting. Alright. Some notes on Gogolia. Let's see. The genus. Let's see what we got. Da, 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 da. So, just kind of a summary, it says that Carcharodontidae, which are the Requin sharks, and Triachidae, which are the hound sharks, historically they've been kind of hard to separate from each other. It's kind of cool to see that Trianodon is a particular genus. That's the white tip reef shark. So those kind of like they're kind of cute, smaller sea puppies. Like they like to sit on the bottom. They're pretty famous in nature shows. It's kind of interesting to see that they used to place that in the hound shark family, and you can kind of see why, because they are very long. They're kind of on the smaller side, and it's kind of interesting to see historically those two families have been confused with each other. So I'm gonna kind of breeze through this just to, because a lot of this is kind of like intricate taxonomy stuff, and we want to make sure we have time for the FAO guides. So. Okay, Gogolia is separable from all other triachids by its unusually high ratio of preoral length to mouth width. So that's a very specific measurement. Very short mouth, very small gill openings, heterodonty pattern in adults. So that's interesting. So that means like it's weird that it has 2 different kinds of teeth. So the top and the bottom rows look so different. Extreme anterior position of the first dorsal origin. Very long and low first dorsal fin. Let's see. So it's not just the first dorsal fin being huge, that's a weird feature. The mouth and the kind of teeth that the shark has is also extremely weird. So that's kind of cool. This is fun. Gogolia is closest to Galeorhinus, Hypogaleus, and Hemitriachus. And is intermediate in some characters between Hemitriachus and the other genera. So Galeorhinus is the Tope shark, because I think we were talking about that. You know, talking about the Tope shark, we already covered it, but we were talking about doing the Tope shark this week. And it's kind of cool to see that this is such a closely related species. So, all right. Okay, we have a description of the original species. This is a nice diagram of the mouth. Very odd teeth. I really love the top teeth. Like as far as like just like these like beautiful fans right here. It's so crazy looking. Very cool. Really nasty. You would not want this shark to bite you. Like you wouldn't want any shark to bite you, but this one especially. That's really crazy. Okay, we'll go back to original view. I'm gonna catch up on comments as well. So, Howard, cool observation. Tiger shark like lowers. That's pretty cool actually, because like this is not too distant from tiger sharks. Really white tip cuddly sharks. So yeah, yeah, white tips are so. Oh, that actually reminds me. Random plug, not sponsored in any way, especially since this is like decades old. But Blue Planet, the Blue Planet Blu-ray of the original Blue Planet is actually a lot of fun because I just realized it has bonus documentaries on it. that are actually really good. So you get the original Blue Planet series, but bonus documentaries. Roy, your comment reminded me of it because we're watching Blue Planet and we're watching those sharks, the white tip reef sharks, on one of the bonus documentaries called Shark Volcano. So it's a really cool set. I think it's the British 3-disc set from BBC Earth, this original Blue Planet Blu-ray, but I highly recommend it. Just a random thing. I personally really like just studying sharks and like taking notes while having Blue Planet on in the background. It's a lot of fun. So just random plug for Blue Planet. Clearly not sponsored by it because it's like 23 years old. But, you know, is there a Blue Planet 3? Because I know there's a Planet Earth 3 coming out. But I thought Blue Planet 3 was a rumor. I'm kind of curious about that. And I'm just kind of going over notes. These are more physical features. I'm just kind of curious if there's anything to do with like behavior or like where it was found. Because this is kind of more. I mean, these are really cool descriptions. So here's like the fins, you know, like these diagrams. It's kind of cool to see like, you know, classic scientific descriptions. Here's the chondrocranium, so, or like the head of the shark. So this is the rostral cartilage right here, so around the snout. And then you have these bulbs are actually the, oh gosh, what do you call that? Olfactory bulbs. So these are for the sense of smell. So they look like eyeballs for a second, but they're not. They're capsules for sense of smell. This is a really cool diagram of the muscle. So the muscle behind the jaw is right here. Very interesting anatomy diagrams. More descriptions on the species, but not anything on anything else than like behavior. And you can see this is a huge account. Yeah, this is like every single anatomical feature, which is really important. I mean, because this is the account that describes the species. Okay, here we go. A summary. I like that. We'll take it. Gogolia filewoodi, new genus species, is described from 2 specimens of triachid shark from northern New Guinea. 2 specimens, okay. So the genus differs from other triachids in having an unusually high ratio of preoral length to mouth width, very short mouth, small gill openings, extremely long first dorsal base, and high vertebral counts. The family Triachidae is resurrected, redefined, and limited to the genera Muscellus, which are the classic smoothhounds, Galerinus, which is a Tope shark, Triachus, which is that the leopard shark like group, Sciliogalius, I'm not sure what that is, Hemitriachus, which are another kind of hound shark like the sicklefin hound sharks, Fergalius. Oh, these are beautiful names actually. Some of these I am actually not familiar with. Hypogalius, Iago is a cool name, Alomictor, and Gogolia. And this is actually interesting. So apparently this species kind of like helped redefine not just the hound shark family, Triachidae, but the Requin shark family, Carcharodontidae. So they have Carcharodontis, which are the Requin sharks, Scoliodon, actually, I know we did Scoliodon recently, I forget off the top of my head what that is, Galeocerda, which is the tiger shark, which is now its own family, Galeocerdidae, Tranodon, which is the white tip reef shark, Loxodon, Hyperprion, Priones, which is a blue shark, Aprion, Isogmophodon, which I think is a dagger-nose shark, Lemniopsis, Rhizopriodon, which is the sharp-nosed shark, and Negaprion, which is the lemon shark. So, very cool. Hemipristis, Hemigalius, Durhizodon, which that might be, I don't think I've heard of that before. Kinogalius and Paragalius are referred to the family Hemigaliidae. Leptocarius, tentatively to its own family. And the scalar rhiniform triacoid genera Proscilium, Aerodactylus, Satanus, and Gollum to the family Proscilidae. Gollum! I think Gollum is I forgot what Gollum is. It's a kind of cat shark. Let me look that up really quick. Gollum cat shark. Big Lord of the Rings fan myself, so... The slender smoothhound, Gollum attenuatus. Very interesting name. Alright. So we'll hop away from this study, because that took a lot of time, but it is important, you know, it is important to, like, kind of see, like, this was the original description of the species, and it is important for it to be as long and extensive as it is. And every shark, every holotype has this kind of detail as far as, like, the measurements that define it. So every shark has this in order to justify a new species. So I'm gonna catch up on the comments, and they look like nurse sharks with a slight nurse shark teeth with a slight angle. Nice, yeah. Cool, cool, cool. So speaking of Compagno, by the way, so we were talking about Compagno's the man. We get to see a bunch of FAO guides, and for all the viewers, let me post this link in the chat so you guys can check these out for yourselves as well, because we probably won't be able to cover all of them tonight. But I definitely want to take a look. So this website, the IUCN Shark Specialist Group, check it out. They have all of the FAO guides here that you can take a look at, and you can take a look at just shark biodiversity in different parts of the world. So it's a really cool collection. Starting with the one that started it all is Sharks of the World by Compagno. So Leonard J.V. Compagno. This is the nominal text from 1984. This is the original like master guide, and kind of the root for, you know, my favorite book that I keep talking about all the time, Sharks of the World. So I have the 2021 edition. This is the original 1984 edition. This was kind of really more behind the scenes, and then I think in 2005, that they made that beautiful copy with the mako shark on the front, which really brought it to the world as far as, like, the general public. In 2015, they made a pocket guide that had updated species, and then in 2021 they made the newest guide, which is this beautiful one that I have next to me, and I bring up on the stream pretty much all the time. So, but it's really cool to go back to 1984 and see the one that started all, and it's kind of cool to see this beautiful image of a great white. Yeah. By the way, I had a lot of fun. I am going to... I had a lot of fun kind of like freaking my girlfriend out, because I am going to get my scuba license this summer. Like I've been PADI certified before, but I want to get SSI certified for open water diving. And one of the dive sites that they can go to is the Chesapeake Light Tower, and they saw a great white last year at the Light Tower. So I had fun showing my girlfriend that and being like, hey, that's where I'm going to go. So, like, fingers crossed I see one, but from a safe distance. So... But yeah, let's check this guide out. This is like history. This is the coolest, the foundational text for just sharks in general. So or shark, like having all the shark species that we knew compiled together. So we currently know about 500 species. I'm so curious to see like what. Yeah, so back in 1984, the present volume includes 342 shark species. 342. Let me do some quick math. Really quick. 514 minus 342. I think we're over that. So, since 1984, we've discovered 172 species at least. So, 2024. What was that, 40 years? 40 years. So in 40 years, we've discovered nearly 200 species, which is really cool. If you do the average... Just silly math, but what was it, 172 divided by 40, so it's about 4 sharks a year, 4 new sharks a year. So super cool stuff. So yeah, let's check it out. This will go into, every shark should have a profile, and this one stops at the end of lamniform, so we'll just kind of like hop around, see this one. So, you know, This catalog includes all the described species of living sharks and their synonyms, including species of considerable and major importance to the fisheries, as well as those of potential, limited, and no current use. Oh, this is really cool. This actually, I'll scan through this because it actually goes into like shark guide history. So let's check it out. With a single exception, there's been no comprehensive work in the past 70 years listing all shark species and their synonyms. Early post-Linnaean workers, so this is a reference to Linnaeus, the father of taxonomy, like the original, like kind of like the inventor of classification that we know. Early post-Linnaean workers followed the tradition of Linnaeus's 1758 Systema Naturae in attempting to list, characterize, and classify all known living sharks. But these workers were hampered by the Linnaean system, which allowed only a single genus, Squalus, for sharks. So that explains a lot. That explains a lot. Like, even the movie Jaws. Jaws called the great white shark Squalus. And it's like, okay, that explains a lot. That's why everything is called Squalus. Like, because when we go back in time and we look at old shark names, they're all called Squalus. So that explains a lot. They were Squalus. Wow. Did not know that. All right. Some of the most important early comprehensive works were those of Bonneterre, very big name, 1788. I don't know how to pronounce this. Gimlein, 1789. Bloch and Schneider, 1801. And Cuvier is really important. Gallicerdo Cuvier, the tiger shark, is named after him, 1817, 1829. By the beginning of the 19th century, the Linnaean Squalus was undergoing fragmentation in the works of Raffinesque, that's also a big name, 1810. Blainville, 1816, and Cuvier, 1817, introducing most innovations of the sort prior to Müller-Enlè's revisions. This is so cool. Oh, this is great. The advent of Müller and Enlè's epical systematic Beschreibung der Plagiostomen. So that's like the cool... You remember that day that we did the trivia together where we saw those beautiful illustrations of sharks and we wanted to guess what species it was? It's this guide from 1841. Essentially placed a classification of sharks and their close relatives on a modern footing. The Plagiostomen is a comprehensive review and synthesis of the work of previous writers on a bold step beyond the chaos of the previous century. I love that sentence. It divided the Lazaric fishes into many families and genera, most of which are recognized today. This is so cool. The Plagiostomen is probably the most important single work that broadly covers the systematic of sharks and rays. So this is cool. That's a cool like overview of the history of like cataloging sharks. So, but yeah, let's kind of check the catalog out. So here's a cool guide. I do want to flip this over so that we can see this very clearly. Because we actually never did this on the stream before. We've never really gone into the basic classification of sharks before. I do have a very old, cringy YouTube video in the early days of this channel that did this, and I think I used the Batman Begins Batman, and it's very cringy. I was young, so I think I did cover it on the channel in that way, but it's kind of cool to do this as an adult. So here we go. Alright, so you could split sharks up classification-wise. So one of the key features is, does this have an anal fin or no anal fin? And then the squaliforms, prisciforms, squatiniforms don't have an anal fin. Everybody else does. So this is kind of like a cool key to help classify sharks into their different orders, like the main groups of sharks. On the top you have body flattened, ray-like mouth terminal, so these are the angel sharks, squatiniforms. So the fact that they don't have an anal fin and they are very flat, very pancake shaped, that's what makes them unique, and that's what makes them their own order, squatiniforms, so the angel sharks. If they don't have an anal fin, but they don't have a ray-like body, you are split between prisciforms and squaliforms. Prisciforms, of course, have the saw-like snout, so these are the saw sharks. So this is the saw shark order. And then everything else that is not a saw shark, that's not an angel shark, but doesn't have an anal fin, is a squaliform, or dogfish shark. So all of our classic dogfish, the Greenland shark, sleeper sharks in general, the kite fin sharks, the cookie cutter sharks. They all fall into this category. So that's actually kind of easy to remember. It's if it's not an angel shark and not a saw shark and it doesn't have an anal fin, it's a dogfish. So that's actually kind of useful as far as like the squall forms is a really, really huge order. There's so many of them. So that kind of helps with like that group of sharks. So then when you get into kind of more the classic shark look, where the sharks have an anal fin, you go into the gill counts. Does the shark have 6 or 7 gills? If it does, it's the hexanchiforms. So the 6 gill, 7 gill, and frilled sharks. So some of these like really ancient looking forms, and they only have 1 dorsal fin. So that's a really easy way to split that up. If the shark has classic gills, like 5 gill slits, 2 dorsal fins, you can see if they have spines. So if they do, they are a heterodontiform or bullhead shark. So like the horn shark, Port Jackson shark, very cute faces, like very big boofy mouths or boofy heads with the spines on the dorsal fins, and they have an anal fin. It's the classic heterodontiform look, the classic bullhead shark look. If they don't have a fin spine, this is probably the trickiest part. You have to check is the mouth in front of the eyes or is it behind the eyes, or like behind the front of the eyes, or sorry, mouth behind front of the eyes. So like I kind of always think of like the mouth beneath the eyes. So if the mouth is in front of the eyes, kind of like whale sharks, you know, classic whale shark photographs that they have like the mouth like it's like right at the edge of the head, is like it's just mouth, you know. It's an Orlectolobiform or carpet shark. So nurse sharks, whale sharks, they all have the mouth at the very end of the head and in front of the eyes. All the other sharks have the mouth kind of underslung beneath the eyes. So the snout is kind of like first. So you got the Orlectolobiforms, which are the carpet sharks. Finally, you get the 2 main classics, the lamniforms and the carcharodontiforms. The lamniforms do not have nictitating eyelids, so they don't have that feature that protects the eyes, like that membrane that comes up, kind of like closing your eyes. They can't do that, so those are lamniforms. Those are like the great whites, the mako sharks, the porbeagles, the sand tigers. But if they do have a nictitating eyelid, or membrane, nictitating membrane, if they are able to cover their eyes when they bite on something, they are the carcharodontiforms. So these are the classic bull sharks, sandbars, cat sharks, our shark tonight, the Sailback Houndshark. So yeah, it's a nice, I love this chart because it's a nice breakdown of how you can do basic shark classification into the main orders. And what's kind of cool is like this is a little bit outdated because now we have a 9th order, which is the Echinodermiforms, which you checked out last week. Like the bramble shark is part of a whole new order. So super cool to see how the taxonomy is broken down. So hey, Sir Douglas Baines, good to see you. Welcome back. Oh, Aurora, I think we just struck gold. So cool. Okay. Let's see. Oh no, wait. Oh, you mean the ridiculous thing? That's funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, actually, it was really cool. It's one of the angel sharks almost evolved into rays, but said nah. So that's a good point. I'm not really sure because I think rays are an offshoot of all sharks, so I think they went into their own direction. So I think, if I remember correctly, angel sharks actually independently evolved the flatness, if I remember correctly. So I don't think rays are an offshoot of angel sharks. I think they're an offshoot of all sharks. But we'll have to check that out as far as like if we get into like ray taxonomy. That'd be pretty cool to check out. This guide has the basic measurements on sharks, but we'll kind of skip that because I do want to check out some of the old species profiles. And here we go. So we won't see every single one because we want to check out all the other FAO guides and kind of see how they improve over time. But we'll just kind of profile hop. So we got the frilled shark. So nice illustration of the frilled shark. You have the basic drawing with the frilled shark teeth. Really creepy looking. FAO, again, is the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. So you have 3 of the 6 official UN languages, English, French, and Spanish. They should. Some guides do have Arabic, and I think some have Chinese, but I've definitely seen Arabic before. But I don't think I don't know if I've seen Russian or Chinese before on the guides. English, French, and Spanish definitely come up a lot in these guides. So. This is actually great. It's amazing to think that 1984 this is like the framework for just basic shark field guides. Because you have the species name, the diagram of teeth, field marks, the map in terms of where you can find it, habitat biology, interest in fisheries. Let's see if Gogolia is in here, by the way. And it looks like it's not. So maybe the Sailback Houndshark was so recent. We'll double check that. We'll jump ahead to something random. Centrophorus Lusitanicus. So this is a gulper shark, the low-fin gulper shark. Really rare group of sharks. I'm so glad we covered a Centrophorus on the stream because, this is a really misunderstood and important group. They're very sensitive to fishing for the most part, so I mean all sharks are, but we'll jump ahead. Oh, do you know what? This guide is split into two parts, so of course Gogolia is not here because Gogolia is a carchariniform, so that's actually covered in part 2 of Sharks of the World. Beautiful scalloped hammerhead drawing. Love this drawing actually. No, it's like black and white, but it's just like that's actually a gorgeous drawing. Let's see if Gogolia is in here. And it is. Here we go. It is in here. Alright. There's Gogolia. It's somewhere here. You got family Triachidae. Okay, so it's somewhere in this part of the guide. This is the same guide, so it's so big that it's split into 2 sections. So you have the carchariniforms, which are one of the most specious shark orders, and then everybody else. All the other 7 orders were part 1 of the guide. So, oh, actually, you know what? This is cool. I do want to check this out because you can kind of see the different kinds of hound sharks in this column here. So Sciliogalius, kind of more of a sickle fin look. Gogolia with the giant fin. Furgalius with like these little barbels and this cute little face right here. Hypogalius, which looks very thin, very noodly, very long. Galerinus, the Tope shark, a little bit more robust build. Like with a Tope shark, you can kind of see how this is confused with Requin sharks. Iago looks really cool, actually. That's actually really cool. Iago has kind of like a humped back, sickle fins, broad pectoral fins, and then Hemitriachus right here. Very cool. Triachus, the classic like leopard sharks, and then Musculus, the classic smoothhound sharks. So, all right. Furgalius. Oh, that's cute. The whiskery shark, Furgalius mackie. That's a new one. That might be a good candidate for next week, actually. Because he does look adorable. So, Southern Australia. This one sounds really cool. We got Galerinus, the Tope shark. Gogolia. Unfortunately, oh no, here we go. Yeah, Gogolia. Here we are. Okay, so we actually get some more information on our shark tonight. So Gogolia, the Sailback Houndshark. Hopefully we could get some more on this guy. So we've got the classic drawing, and apparently that drawing on Fishbase is from this guide officially, which is cool. So. Squaliforms are OP. Yeah. Oh my gosh, love that comment. Alright. Field mark, huge triangular sail-like spineless first dorsal fin about as long as the caudal fin. Nictitating eyelids, pairs of anal fin. Let's see. A little known shark of the New Guinean continental shelf, the only specimen of which was taken at 73 meters depth, probably near the bottom. It's basically the same information over and over again, meaning that we just don't know a lot about this species. We really don't. So, rare shark. One thing that's kind of cool, we've seen a couple sharks like this, but look at the head. The eyes seem like there's like kind of like a clear pathway dorsally, so it kind of makes me think of a possum. We've seen a couple sharks like that. So one kind of theory is, do you think this is a feature where maybe in peripheral vision the shark can see if something's sneaking up on it from the top? Because it is a bottom-dwelling shark. It is a shark, and when I say bottom-dwelling, I mean it's cruising the bottom. So it is, you know, spending most of its time on the bottom looking for prey items in the sand. So it could be something to help it keep an alert of anything that's swimming above it. I could be speculating, but I always think it's unusual when there's sharks that do have this feature where it looks like the eyes are almost like, you know, kind of indented, and it reminds me of possums. Like, if you look at it from the top down, I wonder if there's a reason for that. Another thing to note, though, is this original description could be a damaged specimen, so that could affect the appearance. So, but just kind of interesting thought, you know, about that. So. Let's jump forward in time to another FAO guide. What is this one? Actually, this one's a little different. Is this the same one, actually? Hold on. I'm gonna just type Gogolia. Oh, this is a checklist. Okay, so this is a checklist of sharks in different parts of the world. So we'll go ahead and just jump to a new FAO guide. So one thing I love about the FAO guides is they always come with like beautiful works of art, and no two FAO guides are alike as far as like the species profiles, and then also like, you know, the area, and then just the artwork. So I'm gonna take a drink really quick. So this is a really cool guide. I'm assuming this is probably Australia or somewhere. Yeah, my guess, and let me know if you guys have a guess, because I think the text is too small over here. So, based on, you have a great white shark, a Port Jackson shark, and a woebegone. My guess is this is Australia or New Zealand, but what do you guys think? Oh, I mean, just... At least the info is consistent. Yeah, that's true. At least it's consistent as far as just like, oh my goodness. So, as far as our Sailback Houndshark. So, alright, I'm gonna guess this is Australia. Sharks of the World, Volume 2. Bullhead sharks, mackerel sharks. Is this not regional specific? Is this a reprinting? Oh, it's a revision. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, here we go. Mainly from Australia. Okay. It says, including a certain well-established but currently undescribed species mainly from Australia. Do I have this right in terms of what this guide is? Wait, Sharks of the World... Annotated illustrated catalogs for species known to date. Bullhead mackerel and carpet sharks, Volume 2. Doesn't say where this is located. This is just Sharks in the World in general. Okay, but from 2002. Alright, so I'm kind of curious to see if there's any changes to the guide. This looks pretty similar to what we saw earlier. Same kind of measurements, which is so cool. These guides are awesome. I'm glad I included the link. Oh, hey, look at this. Let's definitely check this out really quick. Because this is basically what we saw earlier, but this includes the chimeras and rays. So here we go. Alright, so we talked about shark identification already. So we have the same setup. Heterodontiforms, erectolobiforms, lambdiforms, carchariforms, hexangiforms, squaliforms, periciforms, squatiniforms, right? With the rays, ragiforms, classification guide, you have 5 to 7 gill slits, no anal fin, body flattened ray-like, here we go. This is not a phylogenetic guide, this is a classification guide, so even though this is like linking the rays to the angel sharks, this is just more for identification. So for rays, the mouth is ventral, so on the underside, pectoral fins attached to the sides of the head. So we've talked about that before. This is a big thing to tell saw sharks and saw fish apart. Saw fish are rays, saw sharks are sharks. The head is fused to the fins. Whereas with sharks, like the angel shark, you can actually see that really beautifully. This is a great illustration. That's actually a really great way to tell the difference between angel... That's a great comparison. And I'm really glad that they picked a guitar fish, which is a kind of ray. It's super confusing because it has shark-like features, right? But this is a great example where it's like ragiforms, the rays, the head is fused to the fins. Whereas squatiniforms, the angel sharks, the head is separated from the fins. So you can see this line where the head is basically its own independent unit. The fins are their own independent units, whereas the ray is just one piece. And then again, sharks have their mouths like, you know, either at the end of their snout or kind of like underneath but underslung, you know. So it's like the mouth can like leap forward, you know. It's like, you know, all sharks can like, you know, I mean, not all sharks, but like all rays have their mouths completely beneath them, completely on the underside. Whereas like sharks, like I think underslung is a better way to say it in terms of like when you think of a great white shark, you know, you wouldn't say the mouth is like at the bottom of the shark, like it's something that could project forward clearly. So, but really, I think the head fusing, like the fins fused to the head is like the big thing as far as telling rays and sharks apart. It's cool that they include chimeras, which are a not well-known group of, or it's not that they're not well-known, they're just not very popular group of cartilaginous fish. So the big feature is one gill slit. So they really don't have the 5 or 7 gills like sharks and rays, they just have the one. And they look just very bizarre anyway. You know, so they're unmistakable. You know, they definitely are cartilaginous fish, but they just look so different from everything else. So, all right. I suspect these are probably going to be similar looking profiles. Really pretty illustrations of these bullhead sharks. But I think these are going to be the same profiles. So this guide, even though it's from 2002 and it is colorized, it's not really quite updated. And colorized in a sense that I can see like the range map. That was a cute species. What is this? Heterodontus japonicus, the Japanese bullhead shark. That's a very cute face right there. Another fun candidate for next week. So, ooh, actually look at this one. The zebra bullhead shark. That is a beautiful looking shark. Also available for next week. So very cool. All right, so this guide. Oh, nice sand tiger shark drawing. Love this drawing actually. So what's kind of cool is that even though this guide, I think it has more of a focus on Australian species, like the sand tiger shark, that's the official English name, but in Australia it's called a grey nurse shark, which is kind of confusing. So, but that's an awesome illustration of this species. Nice illustration of the teeth as well, so very cool. Alright, let's hop forward because I'm noticing it's almost 10:30, so alright, field identification guides of sharks and rays of the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. So again, you see like every guide has its own mix of species. So we've got a great hammerhead right here. This one back here, I'm guessing that's a blue shark, but it's kind of hard to tell. And then I don't really know what this thing is supposed to be right here. That's a little too vague in this part of the guide. And then this looks like something along the lines of like, not a cownose ray, but something in that same family. Yeah, really cool great hammerhead illustration here. So, alright. So Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, we'll take a quick look. Now what's really cool with like the regional guides, they actually break down some of the ecology of the region. So you can kind of see some dynamics happening. This is cool. This is some temperature maps in this part of the world. And you can see that the Red Sea is actually like a very consistent high temperature area in the summer. Like you can see that in this like red graph here. That's a pretty high consistent temperature of around 30 degrees, and then when you go offshore, it moderates at about 24 degrees. So that's actually pretty cool to see. That's something that, again, I love about these FAO guides, is that, you know, they do focus on like what the region is like, and you know, as well as like what sharks you can find in the region. So here we go. This is a little bit of a truncated guide, but you can kind of see like nice quick profiles of like our bramble shark, so Chinorhinus brucus. We've seen that before. Another gulper shark, blackfin gulper shark. Let's kind of see what's going on in the Red Sea. Ooh, I didn't know there were bullhead sharks in the Red Sea. This is the white-spotted bullhead shark. What's kind of cool about these guides, they actually have the local names. So let me zoom in a little bit. So you have Al-Kirsch, Al-Omani, Abu Nukat Bida. So that's a local name for this species. Very cool. But you also have the classic FAO names in English, French, and Spanish. Ooh, what is this guy? The Oman bullhead shark. Very cool. The Al-Kirsch or Al-Omani Azrak Al-Ras. Very cool. Oh, we're already at sand tiger shark, so this is a nice sand tiger shark illustration. Local name is Al-Namir Al-Ramli. Very cool. I wonder if great whites live in the Red Sea. Let's see. We've got two kinds of thresher sharks. You have the pelagic thresher and then the big eye thresher. Oh, that's actually kind of hilarious. Look at that. That's a cute drawing. So the eyes do wrap around the head like that. But this particular drawing almost looks like a funny face. But oh, and they have all three threshers, because here's the classic thresher shark. So yeah, they have the short fin mako, but they don't have white sharks. Interesting. So they just have the mako and the thresher sharks, but no great whites. Very interesting. We got the beautiful zebra shark. I did it myself. I almost got confused between the two. The tawny nurse shark. This is a favorite of ours. And then, of course, the classic whale shark. And then I just want to take a quick peek at the Carcharodontiforms. Ooh, silver tip shark. Carcharodontis alba marginatus. This is a beautiful shark species. Also a nice candidate for next week, because this is a gorgeous species. Like, as far as like the tip sharks, like the white tip reef shark, black tip reef, silver tip sharks are gorgeous. So big nose shark, the Carcharodontis ultimus is a big nose shark. Plumbeus. So yeah, pretty cool collection. Black tip reef shark. What I'm kind of curious though is I wonder if there's guides that have full color illustrations. So as you get forward in time, some of them do. Let's check this one out. Field Identification Guide of Sharks and Rays in the Mediterranean and Black Sea. So I'm actually curious about this because the Mediterranean is a very sensitive zone in the temperate North Atlantic. It's arguably one of the most sensitive, oh, this is cool, regions. Ooh. I'm catching up on the comments too. Oh, sorry. I'm just catching up on these. Okay. Japanese bullhead from Mingus. Zebrahead shark from Roy. Looks like a picture shark. Roy and I would have a death battle. Okay. Okay. I love it, guys. Alright, we're gonna flip. Okay, so the zebra bullhead or the Japanese bullhead, I'm gonna flip a coin, actually, because it's like that battle was well fought. So let me go grab a coin really quick And I'm going to leave this lovely map of the Mediterranean up because it is actually pretty cool to see. So, alright, 1 second. Okay, so Banjo Shark, Two-Face Batman, Roy. Yeah, it's. Oh man, I'm sorry. I love the Dark Knight trilogy. I just get so into it. Like I annoy my siblings like doing the Batman voice, like swear to me, like where were the other sharks going? You know, it's just ridiculous. So, but anyway. So yeah, we'll do a coin flip. What does he say to Harvey Dent in that movie? He's like, you know, what happened to Rachel wasn't chance. We three decided to act. I'm sorry, I love The Dark Knight, man. It's awesome. Okay. So Japanese bullhead. Okay, so heads is Japanese bullhead shark. Tails is zebra shark. So. Sorry, I love these comments. Where is she? You wanted me. Here I am. Alright, so heads is Japanese bullhead. Tails is zebra bullhead. Tails, it's zebra bullhead shark. So, Roy, you win with zebra bullhead. Which is going to be, that's a beautiful species to cover. Both are beautiful species to cover, but that's a good pick. So, yeah, we'll do that next week. So, alright. So let's see. I'm trying to orient myself to the guide. So it looks like A is physical features, and then or like terrestrial features, and then not the letters are terrestrial features, and then the numbers are aquatic features. So I do want to orient myself really quick because I was quizzed on this recently, and I actually messed it up as far as the seas go. So you have number 1 is the Strait of Gibraltar, which is, yeah, it makes sense that was like historically a really strategic area because it's kind of insane that the entire Mediterranean Sea can only be accessed through this. Now you have the Suez Canal. Is that the Suez? Yeah, the Suez Canal, like number 18, but still strategically that's crazy. Okay. The Aegean Sea, I always get this one confused. The Aegean Sea is 13, so these are all the Greek islands. So 13 is the Aegean Sea. The Adriatic Sea is 9, so that's up here near eastern Italy. The Black Sea is 16. Now this would be interesting to see shark-wise because I always get confused how like fresh or salty that is because that's so landlocked. Let's see what else that we've got. I didn't realize, so 12 is the Levantine Sea. What is 8? The Ionian Sea is 8. The Tyrian Sea is 5. Very cool. Catalan Sea or Catalan Sea is 3. Alboran Sea is 2. So it's kind of cool seeing these like different seas like broken up in the Mediterranean. So I really like this guide. I think it's so interesting. Will this show me salinity? I'm very curious about that. We've got wind speed, sea surface temperature, chlorophyll. So that's really important as far as like the production of chlorophyll. So phytoplankton, currents, deep water. I do want to see salinity because that would be really cool. And it looks like they don't have a salinity map. So, okay. We've already seen the shark classification guide, so we'll kind of keep going. And let's see what sharks live in the Mediterranean because I'm quite curious myself. So we've got sharp-nosed seven-gill shark. Nasty teeth on that. The blunt-nosed six-gill shark. Very cool. Oh, the big-eyed six-gill shark, Hexanchus nakamori. I don't think I've heard of that one, actually. Quite interesting. Of course, the pike dogfish, Squalus acanthius. Elanos spur dog, Squalus blainvilli, Squalus megalops, a short-nosed spur dog. So lots of dogfish. I'm just kind of hopping around. Oh, Centrochymus coelolepis, the Portuguese dogfish. Very fun. Some familiar faces. The angular rough shark, Oxynotus centrina, with its cute face. Kitefin shark, Delatiidae. These are some classics. Angel sharks are really important in the Mediterranean. This is a very critically endangered group. So you have the sawback angel shark, Squatina aculeata. The smoothback angel shark, Squatina oculata. I love that you have like a guide on their faces too. There we go, let's zoom in a little bit. So the sawback angel shark has a thorny back and like kind of prominent fringes on its face. And the smoothback angel shark also has prominent fringes, but it has a smooth back, hence the name. So, Squatina, the classic angel shark, which is unfortunately very much endangered. We've got our classic sand tiger shark, awesome illustration. Odontaspis ferox, a small-toothed sand tiger. This one is a little bit rarer, or a little bit less known. The thresher shark, so the big eye thresher with its ridiculous drawing. The classic thresher. The basking shark, hello. We have basking sharks offshore this time of year. They're very rare off Virginia, but they're here. That's a nice guide. This actually, I'm just kind of selfishly showcasing the basking shark really quick. That's a really nice illustration of their tiny teeth. So these teeth are extremely small and probably just not functional. But it is really cool to see just kind of how it works, where these little teeth are lined up in a row on the top side of the mouth. Of course, basking sharks open their mouths really wide and seine plankton out of the water. What's kind of cool is that when you think about it, basking sharks, menhaden, herring, and whales, they all have exploited that same survival mechanism, which is they all have found plankton, being like the most energy-rich food source, and they all have like independently evolved a way to strain plankton from the water, and become really important parts of the ecosystem. Menhaden and herring, really critical links in the food chain. Whales and basking sharks, enormous animals, partially because they get this incredible amount of nutrients from just plankton. So it's really cool to see. White sharks, so great whites actually live in the Mediterranean. That's actually cool to see. They're in the whole Mediterranean, but they're absent from the Black Sea. Very cool. And then of course you got the mako shark. And then the longfin mako, which is not as well known. So that's cool to see. So Mediterranean is represented. Oh, and the porbeagle lives in the Mediterranean. So it's kind of cool to see the Mediterranean's got a lot of the classic lamniforms. Got quite a few cat sharks. Big nose shark. These are the same illustrations. Black tip shark, Clarkarius lombatus. Dusky shark. Tiger shark. Ooh, Mediterranean's got a lot actually. Blue shark. Sphaernotudes, look at that. This is a small eye hammerhead. Did not know that this was in the Mediterranean. That's very exciting actually. Sphaenomacron, the great hammerhead. Classic. I'm sorry, here's Sphaenomacron with the classic sickle-shaped dorsal fin. This is... Whoa, okay. Sorry, this is Sphaenolowini, the scalped hammerhead, one of my favorite species. There's a weird scientific name here, Sphaenodiplana, which I think is... It says it's a frequent synonym, so I've never heard of that for that. But love scalped hammerhead sharks. One of my favorites that I've seen here. So cool. And smooth hammerhead, Sphaenozygyna. Classic. Alright, I'm gonna hop ahead. Hop ahead. I'm hoping I can find a color guide, and this might be one of them. So these are all FAO guides. Again, I'll repost this link for the viewers because they are all Ooh, Howard, just saw your comment. I'm surprised to see the tiger there. Yeah, it's cool to see tiger sharks in the Mediterranean, especially since, like, if I remember correctly, the Mediterranean is a case study for, like, so in shark history, lambda-forms used to be like the big thing, you know, like lambda-forms used to be like the top predators. And then with kind of like the warming, if I remember correctly, it's like with the warming climate, carcharodontiforms like the tiger shark were able to kind of come into these areas and outperform or outcompete lambda-forms. And so carcharodontiforms have exploded in diversity. And it's kind of cool to see tiger sharks in this area because, like, I feel like it kind of, in a fun way, represents, like, the general carcharodontiform takeover, where carcharodontiforms really just, like, have been so successful, and part of it is, like, they've been, like, they've really radiated in tropical environments or warmer water environments. And I know the Mediterranean is not a tropical environment, but it is, like, you know, kind of more warm, or it is a warmer water environment compared to other places. And I believe, if I remember correctly, the Mediterranean is a case study for, like, just ecological change on a huge time scale, like millions of years, as far as, like, carcharodontiforms outcompeting lambda-forms. So that was a long tangent, but tiger sharks in the Mediterranean is kind of like a special thing. So Minges, I just saw your comment, is making me realize I know next to nothing about the Mediterranean Sea. Same here, honestly, because, like, I am so familiar with features on this side of the pond, if you will, and then when it comes to Europe, I really don't know, honestly. And then, however, I just saw a comment on the Latin name for the zebra bullhead shark. Let me pull that up. I think it's Heterodontus zebra. I think it is actually pretty straightforward, but let's make yep, it is, actually. There we go. So I have that right. Zebra bullhead shark, Heterodontus zebra. Yep, Heterodontus zebra. Beautiful, beautiful species. I'm very excited for this guy next week. That's gonna be awesome. So, oh, Roy got it. Sorry, thank you, Roy. Very, very cool. So, small tooth sand tiger is so pretty. Yeah. So I'm excited. Let's see if this new guide. Where was my place? Here. Nope, that was not it. This is it. North Atlantic Shark Relevant to Fisheries Management Pocket Guide. All right. Let's see what we got here. We got the classic thresher. That looks like a classic scalped hammerhead. Yeah, that's a scalped hammerhead because the dorsal fin's not insane looking, and it looks like there's the scalps here. You have the sand tiger shark, tiger shark. I am assuming that's a Greenland shark. It is a sleeper shark, but I can't tell if that... it's gotta be a Greenland shark because I don't think we have other large sleeper sharks here. These three are tricky. They're all... No, these two are dogfish. This is a deep water cat shark because it has the anal fin. So kind of bringing it full circle. The anal fin means it cannot be a dogfish. So, but these two sharks lack an anal fin. So these two are totally dogfish. This one on the bottom is definitely a lantern shark. I'm not sure what kind, but, like, just the way it looks, like just the small body, kind of like that beautiful velvet belly. That definitely looks like a lantern shark. This guy, I'm not sure who this is, so we'll check it out. I hope this is a full color guide. And it looks like it might be. Oh, this one might be really cool. Okay, I think this might be. So let's check this out. And it's kind of fun because I know a lot of our viewers are from this region. So here we go. All right, yeah, here we go. Okay, so what was the name of this guy again? North Atlantic Sharks Relevant to Fisheries Management. So this is going to be focused on sharks relevant to fisheries. So here we go. So we got Squalosacanthius, the pike dogfish. Local name is spiny dogfish. And this is cool. They actually have expanded the names to United Kingdom, Portugal, Germany, Iceland, Norway. I'm sorry, where is this again? The North Atlantic. Okay, let me make sure. It's interesting they don't mention, like, you know, I mean, I'm assuming United Kingdom, I guess that's going to be including the U.S. and Canada as far as like just English names. So I'm assuming that's what it's doing, because it didn't say Northeast Atlantic; it said North Atlantic. So, and we definitely have these here. But anyway, so nice illustration of this guy. Classic. Love this shark. We've talked about that a lot on this channel. Just because it's so important for fisheries, or not fisheries, but like, I mean, yes, for fisheries, but like, oh, here we go. Yeah, you have the European Union, United States, Canada, Norway. Oh, this is great. So you can see like threats to fishing, zones the shark occupies, possibly the most important species of shark targeted and utilized bycatch fisheries. Oh, you can see the range map here. This guide is really cool. Under TAC regulation in Canada and USA, finning prohibited, direct fisheries banned in Norway. Very cool. Alright, this one is my favorite so far. This guide is awesome. Let's keep going. Gulper shark, Centrophilus granulosus. Man, this one's awesome. You got, you know, like beautiful illustration here. You know, nice diagram of the dermal denticles. Nice size comparison right here. Sometimes you get living photos. Look at that. These are really rare, by the way. Gulper sharks are really, really rare. So, very cool. Who's next? The leaf scale gulper shark. You can see where it lives. Iceland, British Isles. Ah, so cool. Deep water species. This guide is awesome. I really, depth limit, 1,000 meters. I really appreciate how this particular FAO guide is laid out. So, the bird beak dogfish. Ho, Diania calcea. Alright. Where does this guy live? Interesting little dude. Iceland, and this is more of the eastern Atlantic. Common deepwater dogfish are the outer continental and insular shelves and upper, middle, and lower slopes, sometimes caught in large groups. Interesting. This is the one that was throwing me off earlier, the black dogfish, Centroscilium fabricii. And I really should know this because we do have black dogfish here, so like offshore in Virginia, so should definitely know that one actually. Abundant deepwater schooling shark of the outermost continental shelves and slopes. So cool. Ooh, the great lantern shark, Hemopterus princeps. So this is the classic one. This guide might take us home just because it's like, oh, velvet belly. It's literally the velvet belly lantern shark. That's the I literally called it velvet belly. How I care, nice publication. Agreed. Like I love guides like this. So it's like just this is nice, smooth, easy. You can actually just print this out. I mean, this is publicly available, and that's the point. It's like it's for, you know, anyone interacting with sharks. Like it's a nice illustrate. That's a nice photograph of one actually. But it's for anybody interacting with sharks, especially fishermen who like may not know what they're catching. This is a very important guide. So, Portuguese dogfish. What was that? Centroschimus coelolepis. Got you. Small little guy. You know what's interesting? We didn't see any of the Hixantiforms, so it looks like they don't really get caught. We have them here, but it looks like they're not really caught in deep water fisheries. So, long-nosed velvet dogfish. Love that name, Centrosolachus crepidator. Very cool name. This is more of a Northeast Atlantic species. Scanodon ringa is the knife-toothed dogfish. Look at those teeth. That's an eerie looking shark. Very cool looking, but look at the teeth on it. Aptly named. Literal daggers. That's cool. Small little guy. And this is also Eastern Europe. You can even see the teeth protruding in that photograph. Little known deepwater shark on or near the bottom at depths of 200 to 1600 meters. The large triangular razor-edged lower teeth of the shark suggest that it is a formidable predator capable of attacking and dismembering large prey. knife-tooth dogfish. Very cool. All right. The Greenland shark, I was right. So that was a Greenland shark. Beautiful illustration of this species. So cool. And look how big Greenland sharks get. It's nice to see this compared to like a person, like that particular illustration. 2 to 3 times the length of an adult human being. That's crazy. And look at this photograph. It's sad to see a dead individual, but you can see how large Greenland sharks can get. Humans in the background, so very large range. So for our Canadian friends, they are here. If I have my provinces right, we've got Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Quebec, Prince Edward Isle, or Prince Edward Island, and did I get them all as far as like where this range map is touching? Is that I'm gonna stop because I'm American. I don't know exactly. I think I got most of them. I don't know exactly. This particular island right here, is that part of Nunavut, or is that, am I totally wrong on that? So as far as America goes, Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and so on and so forth, south too. It looks like that range map keeps going, so I'm so curious. Newfoundland, gotcha. Okay, thank you, Howard. Yeah. Greenland sharks are wicked, are so wicked. Yeah, I think they're so cool looking. I love that there's so many kinds of sleeper sharks too. We've got this one, the Pacific sleeper, the frog shark. I forget the name of that one. And I think there's a little sleeper shark too. Check this guy out, the sailfin rough shark. So this is a familiar face, Oxynotus paradoxus. Still love the look of these kinds of sharks. So strange looking. Squat little guy. This one is in Eastern Europe. So. Oh, this species was once filmed off the Azores by a remote operated vehicle, which slowed the shark swimming near the bottom and tipping its head downwards to the substrate. So. Kitefin shark, Delacius licca. This is a cousin to, oh, there you go. Yeah, cousin to cookie cutter sharks. Isistius plutodus. That's not the classic cookie cutter, but it is a kind of cookie cutter shark. Yeah, cookie cutters are quite nasty, actually. Oh, what? Wait a minute, was this? Oh yeah, no, yeah, we have kitefin sharks. I'm losing it. Yeah, we totally have kitefin sharks. The sand devil. Love sand devils. This is one of my favorites. Sand devil, Squatina dumeral. Beautiful kind of angel shark. It's actually doing well. You know, we don't really have a lot of issues with the sand devil as far as conservation is concerned. It's a least concerned species. Not a very popularly known type of angel shark, but this is the shark I keep talking about where male sand devils have like thorny fins on their pectoral fins. They have like these little thorns. Female sand devils have smooth fins. So it's a cool example of sexual dimorphism in sharks. So love this species. Very, very, love that photograph. That's a pretty famous NOAA photograph of a sand devil. Fingers crossed. I really hope I see one when I do my scuba stuff this summer, because I really hope I see one. I know they've seen them at the Chesapeake Light Tower. Super cool shark. Just, man, fingers crossed. I really, really want to see one. So, love sand devils. The classic angel shark, Squatina. This is actually really cool. This is a beautiful illustration that shows something that makes the classic angel shark unique. Is look at these beautiful lines, like these beautiful striations right here, almost like mimicking the ripples of of water, of light in the water. That is the surefire way to tell an angel shark from other kinds of angel sharks, like the classic Squatina. That's the way to do it, and that's the way I've learned how to do it, because at first glance I'm like, I have no idea what makes a sand devil different from a classic angel shark. And then because the sand devil can have a lot of different colors and a lot of different color variants. But one thing that I learned is the classic angel shark has this unique ripple pattern that other angel sharks don't have. So kind of cool little trick for that. So. And then this specimen, this is a preserved or dead specimen. You can kind of see barely the lines, but it's not as distinct as in life. So, the sand tiger shark, awesome illustration of the species. It really is a shame that this is a critically endangered species. This is just such a popular, charismatic shark in aquariums. I love sand tiger sharks. I've grown up with sand tiger sharks, and it's sad that this is critically endangered. So it's a gorgeous animal, shallow water shark that just unfortunately just doesn't produce as many pups. So, well, I was about to say unique to the U.S., but again, I remember we saw that it was in the Mediterranean in that other guide, and then you can see the little green lines on the range map that, yeah, it does live in the Mediterranean. Big eye thresher, kind of more of a respectful illustration for that species because the eyes just look ridiculous. So pelagic, it's kind of cool to see it spanning the entire basin. The common thresher, really cool looking shark. Beautiful color pattern on that illustration, by the way. And then basking shark. I like this illustration a lot because sometimes they do have like the sound looks a little exaggerated, but it actually can be pretty accurate. And this is amazing. Look at the size of basking sharks compared to people. Just look how huge basking sharks get. 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Like just at least as long as four human beings. That's incredible. How big these guys get. So cool. Unfortunately, a washed up basking shark here. Apparently, washed up basking shark carcasses, because they dry out and because they actually lose a lot of the body weight, they used to be mistaken for sea serpents. And so legends of like sea serpents were based on just like, you know, really damaged basking shark carcasses washing up on the beach. Like it's one of the origins for sea snakes. So. Classic great white shark. Let's see. Tubaro Branco. I can't even pronounce that. But really nice illustration of the species. You know, what can you say about a great white? Oh, wow. You can say how big it is. 1, 2, 3 people long. That's enormous. Enormous shark. This is actually an interesting photograph of a smaller looking individual. That looks like a little guy, actually. And then also spanning the entire ocean, or the entire Atlantic, so. Yeah, I just saw your comment, Roy. Now it's an amazing sand tiger illustration. Yeah. Very cool. Minjus, I think I see your what? I think is that the sea serpent thing? Because it's super cool. Yeah. Short fin mako, another classic. Seen a lot of land. Ooh, beautiful photograph actually. I know that's a preserved specimen, or not preserved, but like a dead. Actually, I don't know if that's a dead specimen or if that's a specimen that might be about to be thrown back into the water. But actually, a really beautiful photograph of short fin mako. Now, just kind of like a PSA about short fin makos. Mako sharks are a really sensitive group, and unfortunately, they get a lot of. I think they do get a lot of notoriety for fishermen and like recreational fishermen. I think they kind of like really idolize mako sharks and kind of really want to go after them. And I just want to say like mako sharks really don't need that. Like they're not doing really well and they should be left alone. And I kind of have a funny feeling that certain governments don't want people to like crack down on mako shark landings because they're so popular, but I just want to say please don't mess with mako sharks. They really don't need that. They're a very sensitive species, and yeah, I know they're popular for fishermen, but you know, like it's a really sensitive species. So we had a really great stream. I remember, Howard, your illustration on that stream was awesome because I think it was a Motorhead reference, and I think we listened to Motorhead, or like a version of Motorhead, if I remember correctly, while doing the mako shark stream. So that was an awesome episode from last year. So the poor beagle, a familiar face, kind of like the little snub-nosed white shark cousin, also spanning the entire ocean. So then now we get to Carcharodontiforms. I think this will close us out for the night. But I do want to, before we finish out with Carchareniforms, taking a peek at the rest of the FAO guides you have, I do want to showcase their art. Deep sea cartilaginous fishes of the Indian Ocean. Beautiful illustration. Another part of this, deep sea cartilaginous fishes of the Indian Ocean again. Really wild looking sharks here. We've seen this one before, sharks, bad toys, and chimeras of the North Atlantic. Some of the illustrations are reused. That's the same Greenland shark illustration, but looks awesome. Tiger shark, blue shark, thresher shark. Deep sea cartilaginous fishes of the Indian Ocean again. This is like the rays and chimeras. Deep sea cartilaginous fishes of the southeastern Atlantic Ocean. Oh man, you got saw sharks, goblin sharks, bramble shark, frilled shark. These are great guides, and again, they're publicly available, so. Identification guide of the deep sea cartilaginous fishes of the southeastern Atlantic. Crocodile shark, look at that. Saw shark, frilled shark. That's so cool. Love the FAO illustrations. Deep sea cartilaginous fishes of the southeastern Pacific. Ooh, that looks like a pocket shark. That one. Yeah, that's a pocket shark right there. Molluscoma. Look at that. Frilled shark. Identification of common sharks and rays of the Caribbean. This is super cool. I should probably get some of these. Scalped hammerhead, lemon shark, Atlantic sharpnose shark, longfin mako, shortfin mako, Cuban dogfish. Haha! I think I got them all. Boom. It's just because like Caribbean sharks are actually a lot of the same species overlap with Virginia. So, and then finally, identification guide: deep sea cartilaginous fishes of the southeastern Pacific Ocean. So all these guides are available. The link is in the chat, and I'll put it in the description of the stream as well. But these guides are incredible. So, but let's wrap things up with, we were on Carchareniforms here. So the Iceland cat shark in the North Atlantic, very cool. And these are, is this Aposturus? These are sometimes called demon cat sharks or ghost cat sharks. So, which is a really cool group name. So. Oh, just saw your comment, Minjas. Sorry, I was caught off guard by how large basking sharks are. Yeah, I mean they're incredible, and it's super cool. Like basking sharks and whale sharks, largest in the world, but like, it's just so cool. It's still like mind-boggling how big they are. So, and fun fact, I've plugged this before, but there's a really great program called Basking Shark Scotland, which offers snorkeling tours with basking sharks. So that's definitely a bucket list thing for me. I really want to do that someday. But you can actually snorkel with basking sharks. They do come up pretty close to Scottish waters. I think Ireland has a lot of basking shark activity as well. But really cool program and awesome thing to do. So great way to be with these gentle giants. The blackmouth cat shark, Galeus maelstromus. Really pretty species, actually. Very beautiful. I know we don't have a lot of cat sharks in this part of the world. The small spotted cat shark, Scindorhinus canicula. Gorgeous species. Very, very pretty. The starry smoothhound. Yeah, so we just passed the cat shark. Starry smoothhound, Muscles asterius. Cool. The dusky smoothhound, our good old friend, who's coming into the bay, in the Chesapeake Bay soonish. So April is the beginning of when they start to come back here. So I'm excited. Getting excited for these guys to come back to my backyard. Great. This is a famous photo. I've used this photo for lecture sometimes. Really nice photo of dusky smoothhound. You can capture that really pretty eyes. These sharks, I mentioned this before probably, but these sharks actually change color. So their skin darkens when they are in muddy seabed, and if they're over sandy seabed, their skin lightens. It takes about 30 minutes for them to change color, but really cool process as far as sharks go. Spinner shark, Carcharenius brevis pinna. This is a really fun classic species. Really small little guy that comes up here every summer. Silky shark, Carcharodontis falciformis. They have such a look. Our good friend Jess Myers dove with silky sharks, so it was really fun listening to talk about seeing them. The bull shark, Carcharodontis lucas, our classic boy, really scary looking shark. This is a cute little pup right here in this photo, but oceanic whitetip, another very dangerous species. I don't think we've done this one before, and actually look how big they get compared to humans. I always think of them on the smaller side, but these sharks are like, I don't know if a jackal is like a desert animal, but it might be a relevant analogy. These sharks patrol the open sea, and where they hardly get any food, and like, look how similar the tooth is to a great white. You know, just that perfect triangle of the serrations. Like, it's a dangerous shark because it hones in on any like just stranded. Anyone stranded in the open sea, it just hones in on you, and it's just very dangerous shark. Dusky shark, Carcharodontis obscurus, really great case study for a species that grows really slowly, reproduces really slowly, a shark that needs a lot of our help. Beautiful photo of the dusky shark. Is also a classic NOAA photo right here. The sandbar shark, very fun, popular aquarium shark. I think, Rora, you might have mentioned sandbar sharks in your aquarium, in your local aquarium. But very popular species. Beautiful, giant dorsal fin. The tiger shark, classic. How you mentioned tiger shark teeth earlier. It's just that distinct heart shape with the serrations. Damn, tiger sharks get huge. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 people long. So tiger sharks and great whites, as far as like the dangerous sharks go, they get it to be enormous. Man, so cool. Blue shark, gorgeous species, Prionis glauca. Great ocean traveler. They get to be pretty big as well. Look at the curve on the blue shark tooth, by the way. Just like, look how it curves back. It's so wicked looking. Beautiful species. Beautiful blue color. And then I think we're almost at the end because we're at the hammerhead. So scalped hammerhead, one of my absolute favorites. They get pretty big. Max length 370 centimeters, so 3.7 meters. It's about, what, 13 feet, if I have that right? Let's see if we could do that. 3.7 times 3.3. 12 feet. That was close. 12. This is actually a cool diagram of telling the hammerheads apart. You have the bonnethead shark with the shovel shape, the great hammerhead with just that handlebar, and then the smooth hammerhead with the smooth head right here. The scalped hammerhead has like that scalped indentation. So, very cool. The great hammerhead with its classic sickle fin. And these get to be pretty enormous. And then the smooth hammerhead, which actually has a pretty high cold tolerance, so these guys could be found up in Canada. Oh, there we go, yeah, the most cool water tolerant member of the family, rarely found in tropical waters. Yep, and you can find them, ooh, you can find them in Prince Edward Isle. That's crazy, actually. Or Prince Edward Island. So yeah, nice pocket guide overall. So, alright. So it's actually right about 11, so I think we'll wrap up. But this is the website. It's the Shark Specialist group, so I'll have the link in the video description. And then the Sailback Houndshark. I know we didn't have a lot, with our of information for tonight's stream, but it was a good opportunity to look at sharks in general with the FAO guide. So, and oh shoot. Roy, I just saw your comment. Home Aquarium used to have sandbar sharks, but they're not there anymore. Unfortunately, now they replace them with lemon sharks. Interesting. I had something similar where there's an aquarium that we have here. It's a smaller aquarium that had sandbar sharks. They used to have both species, and now they have no sharks. So I'm not sure what they're doing, but let's see. Oh man, oceanic. I love these comments. Oceanic white tips are huge. Wouldn't want to mess with them. Quite aggressive. Yeah. So yeah, Fatal Four, the big four species, which hilariously enough, they're all here in Virginia. The great white shark, oceanic white tip, bull shark, and tiger shark. Those are the big four that I always think of as like the most dangerous in the world. So we don't really have a lot of great whites. They just come and go. They're really not that popular here, or not populous here. Much more populous in Massachusetts. Oceanic white tips, they stay offshore. They're really really rare as well. Bull sharks are more common, and they're becoming increasingly common in the bay. They're still like a moderate species as far as like running into them, and I would say tiger sharks are probably. I would say tiger sharks are probably the most likely dangerous species to see in our part of the world. So, or in my part of the world, in Virginia, I would say tiger sharks and bull sharks probably comparable in terms of they're moderately abundant. Very unlikely, but still like not rare. They're not rare. They're here. So. But anyway, it's 11th, so probably going to wrap up there. But those FAO guides are awesome, so hope you guys enjoyed that, and hope you guys enjoyed that cool tour of, just like FAO guides of around the world, and just how they each differ, and they each have like an homage to the region, and they each have a cool collection of shark species. So hope you guys enjoyed that stream. Next week, we'll come back for the zebra bullhead shark. Beautiful species. Probably will have a lot of footage on it because it's just such a charismatic, colorful shark in shallow water environments. So, and certainly there's more research on it than the Sailback Houndshark. Although I'm really glad we got to see what we could see with the Sailback Houndshark. It is definitely one of a kind. So awesome. But hope you guys have a great rest of your week. It was great to see you. And we'll come back for the zebra shark or zebra bullhead shark. Sorry, it's Monday and I'm losing it. So zebra bullhead shark. But cheers, guys! Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. So have a great week. Bye.